Welcome to Meaningful Mornings for the 600th morning. We all like and eventually love articles, beings, and circumstances that we project joy onto. You do not like articles that don't bring you joy. You do not love beings that don't bring you joy. However, we all know articles, beings, and circumstances are not of the nature of joy for you. And so, Meaningful Mornings is a workshop in training our viveka. Viveka means right thinking. The etymology of this word is to filter out that articles, beings, and circumstances can make us joyous. Rather, to like and eventually love joy directly. What does that play out as? Liking yourself more, loving yourself more. And soon enough, you will be united with your spirit, Atma, and then we will like and love all beings, not for anything. This will be natural. We are engaged in a satra. A satra is a conclave that is long in length. Year 1 of Meaningful Mornings was around 15 minutes. Year 2, as we're exploring Bhagavad Gita, this has become around 18 minutes every morning. So on average, 16 and a half minutes. When you multiply that out by 600 and turn this into hours, Meaningful Mornings has been for 165 hours. The chaplaincy course that I'm in right now, I take 2 courses a week. Each course is 3 hours for 20 weeks. So I'm going to get 1 or 2 certificates in June. And that's for a total of 60 hours, 120 hours. In Meaningful Mornings, we're on pace to receive 3 certificates. 3 certificates in artha, that is meaning. And you didn't have to give any artha, that is money, for this artha, yes? What is this satra immersed in specifically? Brahma. Brahma means infinity. As we reflect on the past 2 years, we have been forced to be isolated, social distancing. What has happened with this is people have lost their identity. So much of our identity is associated with another being. I am my mother's son, as an example. When one loses their identity, they're thirsting for meaning. And that is why, in the sense of isolation, lost identity, loneliness, thirsting for meaning, conspiracy theories have grown so much. I'm lonely, I feel empty, so I need meaning, but I don't know where to go. So conspiracy theories. Meaningful Mornings is offering this meaning, but not a conspiracy, rather infinity. We are a community that is coming to unity. How does this feel? In Bharatanatyam, this is a classical form of dance, a performing art. There is a system where one is to emote the Navarasa, 9 emotions. You're to emote this for others. I feel like we're doing that in Meaningful Mornings, but not for others. We're doing this for oneself. One of the emotions is bibatsa, which means to be disgusted. To be disgusted at what? Our own vices. Another is karuna, which means compassion. To be compassionate with ourselves so that we can radiate that. Devi Sita's most favorite name for Sri Rama is Karuna Nidhana, the one who is the foundation of compassion. This foundation of compassion has given and given and given to us. And when someone gives so much, it should be natural to give back. I specifically reference this in comparison to our relative parents and absolute parents. Most often, our relative parents want pleasantries, and that's what we give them. What have our original parents given to us? They have given everything to us, specifically compassion. And so we should be giving back to our original parents. I think about our children. If our children grew up being dedicated to myself and Sheila, I would be disappointed. They should grow up being dedicated to their original parents, and Sheila and I have the same original parents. We should all be dedicated to the original parents. We have all heard, we all say, as you think, so you develop. Agreed? Now we know our thinking comes from our print or vasana. Our entire world is thinking in a certain way, and that's why the world is developing in a certain way, generally selfishly, harming the environment, initiating wars. Do you see how we're all connected in that way? Now, if we think of our immediate families, all of our vasanas are connected. And so, if I remember the compassion of my original parents on me, I should give back to them. How? By reducing my vasanas. And by doing so, I will reduce the vasanas of my relative parents and all beings. Meaningful Mornings is about artha, meaning, and that's why I shared a reference with Vidyadanam Ataha Param. The greatest gift is of knowledge. Vidyadanam Mahattaram. Anything you place, giving knowledge on how to reduce vasanas is higher. When one ignores their vastness, that really means they've forgotten the Om and they're remembering their vasanas, their prints. When one exerts to know vastness, that is where they're forgetting the vasanas and they're remembering Om. Chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita is intensifying our forgetting of vasanas, forgetting of doership, forgetting of ego. And naturally then, one will remember not vasanas but Om. Not doership but non-doership. Not ego but spirit. And in our last verse, Sri Krishna shares that one is free of desire and anger. When our likes are not checked, they become desires. And most definitely, our desires are going to be checked externally. Someone else is going to get it. And so I become angry. This repetition of teaching to deal with anger, to deal with desires. How? Less likes and dislikes. This is the only way one can practice dhyana. If anger is dominating your personality, you will not be able to contemplate. And all of this is being tied together tightly as we move on to verse 27. Shri Krishna has already shared seeds for contemplation. Now he's being most specific. What are you to do in contemplation? Sparshan kritva bahir bahyan chakshushascheva chakshuschevantare bruvoho prana panau samau kritva nasabhyantara charinau. This is a simple verse. Sparshan, that is what you contact. Kritva, this is what you should do. Bahihi, outside. Bahyan, external. Putting it together. Whatever external contacts you make, keep them external. The implication of this, first we were taught to control our sense organs. First we observed we are controlled by our sense organs. Then we trained ourselves in directing our sense organs. Now, in contemplation, what is being shared, we have to disengage the sense organs. From being controlled to directing, now disengage. And see the practicality. You can only disengage your sense organs if you feel that you're more than that. An angry person, a desirous person, doesn't feel that they're more than their sense organs. Chakshuhu antare bruvoho, and one's eyes are supposed to be resting between their eyebrows. In this portion right here, where I have my tilak. The implication of this, when we close our eyes to go to sleep, there's almost a sense that our eyes are looking down. Here, Shri Krishna is sharing our eyes are to be closed, but not for sleep. Conversely, for more vigilance, so the eyes are supposed to be as if looking up. In a restful way. Many people, when they contemplate, they keep their eyes like this. In a restful way. Prana panau samau kritva. One's incoming breathing, that is prana. Their outgoing breathing, apana. Samau kritva should be balanced. sama. Nasabi antara charinau. And this incoming and outgoing breath is through the nostrils. See the specifics. How are you to contemplate? Not with your mouth open. All of this is to be disengaged. The point is that you should be breathing naturally. How many times I've referenced this through Bhagavad Gita? Your breathing is certainly helpful, but there is so much more than breathing. So when teachings come that pranayama is contemplation, is not accurate. Here Sri Krishna is saying, make it natural and let it go. One final reflection. That's all that's shared in this verse. From the Ramayana, when Sri Lakshmana is interacting with Shurpanakha, and eventually he cuts off her ears and her nose. If you think of all of your sense organs, you can close all of your sense organs other than your ears and nose, correct? So that is a subtle teaching of how if you want to be with Sri Rama, if you want to feel Rama, your ears and nose have to be disengaged. There has to be a greater immersion in joy. The next verse continues with what to do in contemplation. From inspiration to application, your application yesterday was to rata, which means to enjoy. And anyone who is, they will be engaged in hita, which means sharing the same with others. Those who are dejected, that tends to get expressed as selfishness. We commenced Meaningful Mornings on March 19th of 2020. Today, February 22nd, 2022. That is a period of 706 days. And we've been together for 600 out of those 706 days. That is an awesome experience of enjoying and sharing. Your application for this morning. In November, you all got to visually see our crew. Every year, our crew engages in a Vichara Dakshata retreat for them to focus on their sadhana and seva. And I challenged all of them. Every one of you is looking after a course. I now want you to look after a community also. And so, if you reflect on what our crew is offering, courses from happy hour to Vanaprastha culture, communities from the mentorship program to silence culture. Our crew is giving to us opportunities to go from anatma to atma. Yes, you can't escape these offerings now. Every demographic, every day, there is an offering. And so what I want you to do is I want you to pray for our crew. Our crew, Anvita, Kanchan, Nina, Ragini, Ricky, Rita, Rupa especially in reference to Meaningful Mornings, Sheetal, Somya, Yatin, you pray for their hita. How? Write to them. Write to our crew with your prayers for their hita. I perpetually do, verbally, mentally. You do so in writing. Our email address is in the chat. It naturally is on our website. Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be happiness.